Coming up on Theater Talk.
I think I've told every story of my life on this show. I should just take this show and have it typed up as my autobiography.
Theater Talk is made possible in part by the CUNY TV Foundation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Casey's mom.
Oh, so you're what spawned that.
Excuse me. Is it live?
It's live. It's live. Live on tape from New York City. It's Theater Talk with
A live actor. Live.
Yes.
Live on TV.
And who are you?
I'm barely alive. Welcome to Theater Talk. I'm Michael Riedel. This is Susan Haskins and our good friend Harvey Fierstein, who is here to tell us about something that will be live.
That will be live.
Hairspray.
Hairspray.
NBC.
NBC.
Live.
Event.
December 7th.
December 7th.
Pearl Harbor Day. Tora, Tora, Tora.
Hey, Bob, our boys. Yes, we're gonna do this live, and some of it's out on the street. I mean,
right.
It's like Jerry. They said we're doing it on a back lot at Universal.
Yes. Right.
And so they're dressing whole streets to look like Baltimore.
Look like Baltimore.
And Jerry said to me, "Oh, and welcome to the '60s. You're gonna come running down the block." I said, "Wait. What? Well, you have to come running down the block." I said, "Wait. What? You gotta come right down the. I said, Jerry, I did this on a Broadway stage. It was 60 feet wide. He said, well, you're gonna come running down the street. I said, have we got the hot dog cart? Because here's my idea. Why don't I climb on the hot dog cart? And he runs down the street. I mean, the idea that we're actually going to be out on the streets singing and dancing live on television.
They got that from that Grease Live they did.
They did
some of that.
They opened it up there. And then how much rehearsal time is going into this?
Everybody starts October 17th, and then it's live December 7th. We lose 1 week with Thanksgiving because we have to come back, and I think we're doing the Thanksgiving Day parade. They haven't really let us know or not, but I think we're all coming to New York for Thanksgiving. And so that's 2 weeks in October, all of November. So like 8 weeks. But 1 whole week is dress rehearsals. Obviously, you got to get it down like.
Right, of course.
I mean, we're used to doing live theater, but there aren't millions of people watching that one performance. The very first performance.
Billions of people, yeah? So now, Harvey, when they first announced this project, first they said, oh, they're going to do Hairspray live, and they said that you were working on writing it. And so we all thought, well, he better be in it, but they didn't.
No, they actually called me because last year I wrote The Wiz.
Yeah.
Right. Which was terrific, by the way.
Thank you.
That was really good.
Well, it's such a different job doing something like that. It's like the Funny Girl that I have running in London now. Mm-hmm. It's because you want to capture the original. You're not reinventing it. You've got to have the same spirit of it and yet bring it to that audience.
Right.
Bring it to this audience. And especially I felt, because I was working with Kenny Leon, I wanted to make sure that The Wiz spoke to an audience of kids that would never maybe go to the theater and maybe get them interested in the theater by seeing The Wiz. I mean, The Wiz was such a cultural event. So it is a different kind of job to do than just writing something new, or like on Newsies, where I was a little freer to write my own style. But there you have to. So anyway, so they were very happy with what I did with The Wiz. So they called me and said, we're going to do Hairspray. We don't know how you feel about this. Would you be willing to write it? I said, of course I'd be willing to write it.
Because we should say Mark O'Donnell, who wrote Hairspray for Broadway, died.
He's passed away. So
But didn't you, Harvey, write a lot of the jokes in Hairspray?
We hear. One hears the strangest things around Broadway. There's more to a book than the jokes.
When they announced this TV thing, and then they said you were writing it, and I thought, well, surely they are not going to do another
John Travolta.
Well,
I heard they were going to ask Elaine Stritch.
Yeah.
She's dead.
Yeah.
But if you make the offer.
Oh, I thought they were getting one of those people from the Disney kids musical or something, you know. But no,
I hear a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. that I was like the 10th or 11th person they came to.
You're kidding me.
But I was
Who
fine.
would they go to? Who on earth?
I can really
That
can't
is
say.
something.
But I do know the bunch that, and I know a bunch that said, why isn't Harvey?
Are you
Harvey,
crazy?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
But anyway, but I understand television. I mean, it's television.
Right.
You know, it's like,
They need a pop star name or something.
yeah, well, like with the movie of Hairspray, which is a safer subject, obviously, since it's way in the past.
Yes.
The most of the money, as I understand it, for that New Line film came from China. So when you go to Chinese investors and you say, we've got Harvey Fierstein, they go, so, but if you
There's
say
so
we
many
have,
things.
Batman eyes or
Yes.
whatever, they go, oh, okay, we'll put money in
Well,
that.
and not being in big money show business myself, there's some projects. There's
This isn't big money show business.
there's some projects you think, really, why bother to do it if you're going to do that?
But
you
they've
know?
got,
Just hold it.
But you have a good cast. You've got Kristen Chenoweth is in this, Ariana Grande, Jennifer Hudson,
Martin Short is your husband.
Sean Hayes,
Zayden and Marin are doing this wonderful thing, Broadway
Craig
musical.
Zayden, and Neil Marin.
Craig Zayden, I was being overly familiar. Are doing these wonderful Broadway musical things, but sometimes, how can I put it? Sometimes there's some casting choices they've made that are for popular consumption or something.
Yeah,
and you
and
think,
what you
don't
don't,
you?
and what we don't know, and of course, it's not the
Yeah.
audience's business. Is sometimes they've tried to find the right people.
Yes, okay.
It's a scary thing to do live television,
Yes.
and I think there's a lot of people that they say, and it's live, and they go, no, thank you.
Goodbye. Yeah.
I mean, that's scary
No, but
to
who-
sing live on TV.
Who was the woman who starred in The Sound of Music?
She was the country west,
Yes.
the country star.
A wonderful performer. Not a great actress, but they went with that.
And you know how many viewers they
Usually-
had?
I know.
Over
I know,
20
I know.
million.
And it set
over
the form.
20 million.
I
I know.
know.
I know you
And
fancy
it
yourself
started-
La Mama purist, but
And
come
it
on.
started, no, but it started that whole thing. It started this whole thing,
Exactly.
Yes,
which is
it did,
bringing
it
an,
did.
between what Craig and Neil did with starting these musicals
Yes.
on Broadway, which now has
On
Fox
TV,
took
yeah.
on TV, which Fox took, did Grease, and now somebody else is doing something on ABC.
They're gonna do
and
Rocky Horror
Well, that's
Show.
a
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
film thing, but
Yeah.
still, it's a show, and I hear ABC is doing it, so
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
they're gonna be-
kind
wonderful.
of thrilling.
They're going to be doing Passion.
It's okay.
Good one. Good one.
Can't make these jokes. I'll get in so much trouble.
With who,
Don't
Michael?
feed me these things.
Harvey's going to play Fosca.
Oh my! I'm too pretty for that role. I can't make these jokes.
Yes, you can. Don't
feel
worry,
like,
darling.
I feel like I'm on stage with Donald Trump. You just cannot talk about his hair.
Have you ever done live television before, or will this be the first? I mean, not a talk show, but actually performing on live TV.
I did Timeless to Me on the Today Show.
Right. Okay. All right.
But that's not
But-
like
but
doing
nothing
an
like
entire
that.
performance. I mean, when does anybody? I mean, there've been those 3 shows that we know of. The Sound of Music, Peter Pan, and Grease.
Right.
And that's it.
But wasn't there
That's-
one other?
No, there's the Rocky Horror, but that's filmed.
Yeah.
And The Wiz.
Wait.
Oh, and the Wiz,
Sure,
of
The
course.
Wiz.
I forgot about that
Yeah.
one. Yeah. So there are a limited number of people who have ever done.
But you're a pro. Do you have any nervousness at all about it?
Of course, but because you've never done it before. But I mean, that's the point of having 6 or 7 weeks of rehearsal.
Right.
By the time you get to that day, you've done it a billion times, and it's old hat.
And also, they're going to tape the dress rehearsal, aren't they? Don't they tape the dress rehearsal?
I assume they do. They
I
do at
think
the Tony Awards.
I think one time something went wrong and they dumped in some dress rehearsal.
Did they?
That's the
Well,
rule.
my favorite though was Peter. I hope.
Neil and Craig will let us know.
Yeah, you asked them. It reminds me of that. It reminds me of that story. I think I've told every story of my life on this show. I should just take this show and have it typed up as my autobiography of Gene Barry and George Hearn.
I love that.
And the singing "Song in the Sand." And so Gene Barry's, this, remember that little song, "Afternoon Fall, Afternoon We Met." The concertina played. What was that song? It's strange to recall. Odd what we forget. He played. And George Hearn leaned across the table and said, "La, da da da, da da da, da da da, da, da da."
Speaking of that, what was that first preview? Because you wrote the book to La Cage aux Folles, and now, of course, what's the big deal? A gay show, who cares? But let's go back to Boston in what? early 80s, right?
1982.
And you're about to open a show where two men, did they kiss in the show? I don't remember.
No, Arthur wouldn't let them kiss. He wouldn't even let them hold hands.
Really?
No, he wouldn't even let them hold hands.
Why?
Because Arthur.
He
was
was-
Arthur.
Well, no, but why?
But you,
He came more and more out the older he got, but
Oh,
they did not kiss in the show.
but was there a moment where you realized, oh my God, what are we doing? We're doing a show where it's about two.
No,
openly-
we had all kinds of moments like that, but no, the great opening moment of La Cage aux Folles, first preview, was the orchestra's playing and it had David sets and the curtain went up and you saw these two buildings and the buildings part like this and La Cage comes down stage,
Right.
the building comes down stage, and so they're playing this overture and Jerry and Arthur and I were all so excited. Da 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 da. It's like da 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 da. It fell over.
Oh my gosh, they fell
It
over.
just fell over flat on the stage. End of the show for a little while. Curtain came down.
And how-
5 minutes later, we started again.
so now, Harvey, I'm looking back to when you started in Hairspray, 2002.
Well, we started. Yeah, I mean, we did previews. We did a couple of workshops and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So really, 2000.
Right, right.
Seattle, you started in
Who
Seattle. right?
approached you with that idea?
They had already written part of Act One. Rob Marshall was directing. Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman had written the score. The book was being written by Mark O'Donnell. Margot was producing. Those were the pieces.
Did they
that
all
were
have you in
place.
mind?
They did not have me in mind, and in fact, Bernie Telsey would not let me audition.
Why?
He said, "Harvey can't do this. We don't want to see Harvey." And they kept pushing and pushing. My manager, Richie Jackson, kept pushing and pushing, and they wouldn't see me. And Richie finally called Mark and said, "Mark, Harvey wants to come in and audition." He said, "Well, of course he should come in and audition. How ridiculous." So I came in and I auditioned.
I wonder
and
who they
got
thought should do it.
It was so funny because I mean all my early shows at La Mama were all musicals,
Right.
Yes, and you were in drag in part.
and in drag, and so none of that was. But here I was auditioning really for a Broadway show musical for my first time, and so I came in. And Rob Marshall's the director, and I came with my own pianist because I used to have a club act back then and do, and they asked me to sing something, so I did. I think I sang "Tale of the Oyster," the Cole Porter song, and then they said, "Do you have something else?" And I went, "Okay." And you have something more up, and I did something more up, and they said, "Do you have something more rock and roll?" I said, "Rock and roll." I did Frank Mills from Hair.
Oh.
I mean, I was there for 40. I did my entire book, and I was saying to myself,
Harvey Fierstein songbook.
saying, "This is so sweet of them.
I know. Oh, they're indulging you.
Pity. It's,
Oh.
it's a pity lay.
There's no choice.
It's a pity lay because they'll never give me the job, and they're embarrassed that I came in and I'm so. Or when I leave, they are going to laugh their asses off. So I finally sang it. I said, "Kids, I got nothing else in the book," and they said, "Well, thank you so much for coming in." And I called Richie, and I said, "They were so sweet to me. They let me sing everything I had, Lenny, and I did my whole club act. I said the only thing I left out was the monologues, and I said, so thank them very much." And he said, "You want to shut up now? They just offered you the role."
Yes.
And it was one of those funny things.
And going back to the concept that they were going to do it on TV, possibly without you, is just unimaginable. You can't. I mean, I saw other people pick up the role, like Bruce Folles did a nice job, and
Yeah, there were lots of.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw lots of Ednas. The thing they wouldn't do was, when we were thinking about who should take over when I left, because remember I did it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Won the Tony Award.
Hey, Casey, hey, baby, look at me. I'm the cutest chickie that you ever did see. Hey, Casey, hey, baby, look at us. We're representing the Tapas. Fabulous.
And then you came back and when they
never
said goodbye.
missed a
Yeah.
performance. Never. I did 2 years solid, and then, but when I was going to leave, I said the most press we could get. And they just wouldn't go along with me. I wanted Lainey Kazan to replace me.
Yeah.
I thought, how much fun would it be if somebody like Lainey came in and did it and did a total switch?
Yeah,
And then you could do people like Bruce or whatever.
When did you realize in Hairspray that it was a hit? It was going to be good. When does that moment dawn on you? Is it the first preview when the audience responds? Or
Yeah.
you just knew in rehearsals that it was coming together? Or do you not know until you're in front of the audience?
When we did backers audition, not backers, you know those workshops with backers auditions. I mean, there was a kind of famous one where there were very famous people there who got up and left.
Really?
During it, and a very famous producer who will not be named said to them, you know, you got Harvey, and no show, and I mean stuff like that. So it was not in our backers auditions, and it was not in our workshops. We still had a lot of work to do. They wouldn't show me the script. And I said, I can't do the show like this. It's not there, and I can't go. It was like a couple of weeks before leaving for Seattle, and I said, I'm not going. I don't want to be one of those people like Lauren Bacall standing in the center of the stage during applause and saying, I'll be in my dressing room until you give me a new book. I don't want to do that. You know, please. And so I said, it's better if I just walk away. You know, let me just bow out.
And they wouldn't give you a script because it was not done, and they
Because
didn't
it
want.
wasn't done, and I had a lovely meeting with Jack O'Brien because Jack had taken over directing by
Right.
then. And there's no more wonderful person. He said, Harvey, you got to trust me. And I said, you know, if I hadn't done Legs Diamond, I might trust you. But sometimes.
And that was your book, like
That was
Diamond.
my book, so I was able to take all the blame for that. And I was able to say, sometimes it's not fixable. You know, you love something to death, and he said, but you know this is fixable. And I said, I believe it is, but, you know, if you won't even let me see the book, what do you, well, anyway, so he wouldn't let, and I went home, and Mark called me up on the phone.
Mark
and
Shaman.
Mark Shaman said, are you really not going to do it? And I said, Mark, how can I do it if I can't even read it? He said, I'll let you read it. And this shows you how long ago it was, or how far we've come in that 10 years. But he faxed it to me, page by page.
Oh my God.
Well,
That was the version we did.
we exhumed from the Theater Talk archive a tiny little clip from the press preview. So this was May before you opened, because you opened in August, right?
Yes, but
Yeah.
that was after Seattle then.
Right. So anyway, this
Oh,
was
so
a
the
press-
show was all fixed and
Okay,
everything was
okay,
gorgeous.
okay.
Perfect.
But anyway, this
Well,
was
but first preview in
Well, that's
Seattle,
it. So
they
what
went
was the first
crazy.
They went crazy. The first
Oh, they
preview.
went
But
insane.
this-
The first preview in Seattle was when I was in my dressing room. I'd already taken off my costume, already taken off my wig, and I said, "What is that noise?" And the audience was stomping, still in the house stomping for me to come back out. It was one of those
wow.
magical moments that you never think it will ever happen in your life. I will never forget that feeling. They said, Harvey, you've got to go back out there. The audience won't leave. It was a lot of the audience was the Seattle Men's Chorus.
Oh, yeah.
Who I had worked with, and so they were there, you know, cheering us on. But and the audience stayed, and I came out in my dressing
Did you
room.
have to? Did you? Oh,
No,
you
in
didn't
my
put the wig
dressing-
back on. You just.
My dressing? No, I mean I'd already started undressing. We were already, and so I came back out of my dressing robe and screams and all. It was just one of the most thrilling things, and that's when I said, whatever happens, we've got something.
You have- well, anyway.
magical here.
how heavy is your fat suit for this? Your teacher's fat suit.
I'll show you pictures that you can take a shot of and put maybe I don't know what we'll figure out.
'Cause
what
I'm
to show.
seeing these
I
promos.
just took I'm just doing costume fittings, so I actually took photographs in nothing but the fat stuff, which is different this time because it's not designed by William Ivy Long. Somebody else is designing, but the breasts are still the same. So the breasts are about 8 pounds each.
Right.
Each bun is about 5 pounds. I
You
would
look
say.
enormous.
My
No, because you do not. And then on the TV promo that got you now, I thought, whoa, that's a heavy fat suit.
yeah, it's it's the magic of television.
It's the magic of television.
Are Mark and Scott writing any new songs for it, or is it? Are you doing the score?
What I did was we're much closer to the Broadway show than the film version was.
Right.
This, that was what they wanted. That's what I wanted. That's what Neil and Craig wanted. That's what Kenny wanted. We did take out the Madison dance that was in the Broadway show and used the song from the movie. Mm-hmm. And there's a song that's the end titles of the movie that we're using as the end title as our sort of bow thing.
You know, my favorite
for
moment in
this show.
Hairspray is Timeless to Me. That was always my favorite number.
Well, thank you.
Because it was always, Hairspray was pitched on such a fun, high level. And then you go right down to this wonderful couple together, and that great old Shaman Whitman song, which is kind of a throwback to another
And
era.
we're doing it, and we're doing it on the street. We're doing it. Wilbur's going to be out on the street working on that invention thing, and
Oh, right.
I'll be on the phone with Mr. Pinky,
So
and then come down.
that's
to the
Martin
street.
Short.
Yeah, Martin and I will do it out on the street, and then the neighbors will be hanging out the windows watching us.
Doing Timeless to Me?
Yeah.
In like an old-fashioned, the very old-fashioned movie romantic scene on the street.
Yeah, but hopefully, I mean, I don't want to lose that
intimacy
of the two of us.
Yeah.
And, and obviously a camera can do that because a camera can come right in and really give you that intimacy. So it's not as much to worry about. But, Marty's so funny and so alive and so, just the idea, like when I was typing the script and I was thinking of Marty doing it, and I have that line, "Oh, Wilbur, stop, you're the funny one." And I said, it's going to be so lovely saying that to him.
Yeah.
What's better than Marty Short?
Is there, if Marty Short were improvising, not in that live thing, but in rehearsals, would that ever work its way in, or that would, you don't know?
Kenny doesn't. Kenny's very organic. I mean, I watched him work on The Wiz. He's so gentle. He's so loving. He's so real. And even on The Wiz, it was always about keeping it real, and it was always keeping, and it's because as he says, this isn't theater.
Right.
This is not theater. This is not movies.
Now, if this
Something in between.
and if this works, if Hairspray works, and I think it will in a big way, is there any chance you can convince Craig and Neil to do the live version of Legs Diamond?
We've discussed it. And once again, I said, make Peter the offer. You never know. It all depends.
But seriously-
somebody wanted to put it on recently.
Really?
And I read it again.
Yeah.
To just see if I could do anything.
Anything to it?
fix
Is it fixable, Legs Diamond?
No, it was such a terrible idea to start with. It was just, and then we try. Everything that could have gone wrong with that show did go wrong, but conceptually, we never did the show that was conceived. I mean, they came to me after the show had already been, and there was no show, and the director of it, Alan Ackerman, said to me, here's the idea. We've got Peter Allen. We have this score that Peter wrote. We have this production that's all about black lights. This was the original idea. Like somebody, because it was a sort of a chase. There were lots of
Gangster chases and stuff, yeah.
So like a showgirl takes off her feather boa and throws it, and it became a staircase that you could run up. So the whole thing was done in black light. It was very puppetry. So I wrote it that way. I wrote the whole thing with chases and things like that. And then they did a workshop and decided they didn't like the way it looked. Everything was too dark. The audience would be asleep with everything in black light. And so we were stuck with a show that it was like doing Cats with everybody dressed in 1940s suits.
But you had the great lines. I think it was John Wilner who was the admin on it. He told me, I think I put it in my book. He said, the second preview, Harvey was in the lobby at the intermission. He said, it's getting better. Only 150 people left tonight.
We used to stand outside behind the colonnade of the theater and watch the people leave. And one woman just turned to me and said, Harvey.
Not that way for Hairspray.
But wait, you'll never get this on TV because it's too long. But Jimmy just died.
Yeah, Jimmy Niederlander, who produced it.
Who produced it, and I loved him so much. Yeah. I adored him, and he wouldn't hear of letting Peter go. Because Larry Kurt was his standby, and Larry Kurt did a dress rehearsal, because you had to do a put-in, and the whole show was 3,000 times better. I'm sorry, Peter, I'm sorry. But it was so much better with Larry. But anyway, so I could not get Peter entrance applause. I mean, here's the star of the show, the whole reason you're doing the show, and the audience couldn't care less. Yeah. So it's like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So he came up with, we're going to write this new number. And Peter wrote the number. When I Get My Name
Name in Lights.
which became the big
Yes,
Hugh
right.
Jackman song.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
Well, 6 of the songs from Boy From Oz
Were from Legs Diamond.
Yeah, so there would have been no Boy From Oz were it not for Legs
Right.
Diamond. So he wrote When I Get My Name in Lights, and we built this huge electric sign that said Legs Diamond with real girls on it and phony girls on it and him riding in, and the curtain comes up and the music's playing and he rides in on this 20-foot electric sign, When I Get My Name in Lights, and the audience didn't applaud. And Charlene Niederlander turned to me and went, I could have had a bracelet.
And that's showbiz, baby.
All right.
All right. Harvey Fierstein is going to be starring as Edna in
Live!
Hairspray Live, December 7th.
And I better know my lines because I wrote it.
He finally takes the credit. All right, Harvey, we'll be watching.
No, I wrote the
Adaptation.
Oh, the TV. Right. And I'm going to have a viewing party in my apartment. We'll be cheering you on.
Can I come?
Right. You're my guest. Thank you very much, Harvey Fierstein.
Thank you.
A pleasure as
Thank
always.
you.
Step aside.
Our thanks to the Friends of Theater Talk for their significant contribution to this production. Theater Talk is made possible in part by the Frederick Lowe Foundation, the Corey and Bob Dinelli Charitable Fund, the Noel Coward Foundation, Carrie J. Fries, the Dorothy Strelson Foundation, and the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs.
We welcome your questions or comments for Theater Talk. Thank you,